As our cities expand, busy streets and urban life continue to spill outwards. But as this concrete jungle rapidly evolves around us, it's bringing people and wildlife together in new and remarkable ways.
Street art is so good for just communicating your feelings or ideas with as many people as possible.
Thriving in paintings on walls and alleyways, Britain's endangered birds are appearing without warning. But beyond these walls, there's a real wild side to city life, if you know where to look.
When you see different coloured birds, it brings a whole sense of exoticness to the London environment.
But as cities change to meet our needs, can the birds of our cities adapt to increasing levels of development before it's too late?
Our population is growing and is going to have a detrimental impact on the birds, definitely.
This is a story about three very different people connected by one cause, bringing Britain's birds back to our cities, one street at a time. Shooting colours of life across concrete walls, wildlife's very own Banksy is catching the attention of London.
I think art is the perfect medium for communicating ideas of conservation or the beauty of the natural world, especially street art, because it's open to everyone, and especially when things are on quite a large scale, they have an extra impact and they really do make people think and ask questions.
It provides a little bit of vibrancy to the area, and I saw it in one of the national newspapers as well.
I think it's refreshing compared to what we're used to, like especially in London with all the pollution and stuff, we don't get to see much wildlife anyway.
I've never seen one of these in person, but it's made me want to learn more about these things.
But while these birds projected in still life may be as close as many will come to seeing them, there is someone for who the city streets are a place to find the real thing.
Birds in the city are one of my favourite things to see. It's incredible. I sometimes go to do talks at the Natural History Museum, and I always wander around the streets beforehand and just check out all the wildlife there. My ambition as a wildlife photographer is to try and show the public the secret side of urban wildlife. That's my main goal at the minute. I think it's very underrated. People walk by the streets every day and miss sort of the swifts as they fly above their heads, or see the heron catching the fish. And then in Hyde Park as well, you've got cormorants, great crested grebes, and they bring up their young right next to the public eye. And for me, that's the excitement I want to sort of ignite in people.
As cities develop, habitat is shrinking, leaving precious little room for birds to thrive in. For ATM and Josh, this brings a deeper meaning to their work as they strive to inspire positive action for the future.
I paint birds for lots of reasons. I mean, I just absolutely love their beauty and what they represent. You know, they represent wild, natural places that I love to be in. And it just seemed absolutely a natural thing for me to do, because it's combining what I love painting as well as really trying to get the message out there that things need to change, especially in cities. I mean, people know birds are disappearing, insects are disappearing, but maybe most people don't quite know why or what they can actually do to try and reverse the problem. You know, because often it's just quite simple, basic things that need to be changed.
And for the birds, this help couldn't come any sooner, as it's becoming clear that they're suffering from the impact of our actions. With over 50 species in serious decline, change is needed, as Josh knows all too well.
Through my years of photography, I've seen quite a few declines in populations. For example, there's a site local to me, and they had London's largest population of tree sparrows. This year, they're now down to 1 or 2 sparrows. It just shows you how quickly and how fast things can decline. For me, it's a real sense of place when I go out without the birdsong. It's like the backing track to the environment. If you don't have the birdsong or the calls of the wildlife, then it's really just a barren expanse of wasteland, really. Through my photographs, I hope to show the public, if they go out on their local patch, they can see these birds, and they maybe put out bird feeders, put up bird boxes, or even bird baths to help these birds through their lifetime.
But whilst Josh is motivated by the birds he sees on his doorstep, for ATM, it's memories that inspire his paintings.
I remember there's certain birds that were considered just completely common, and suddenly have become really quite rare. It's a combination of a lot of different things. For example, house sparrows, which used to be everywhere. They need lots of bushes and privet hedges, and the fact that so many front gardens are being converted into parking areas for cars has just meant that it's dramatically changed. And also food supply in gardens, I mean, too many lawns, and councils getting rid of what they call weeds, so weeds produce seeds and insects live on them, so they need the insects to feed their young in the summer and the seeds in the autumn and the winter. And the house sparrows need places to nest. Modern housing doesn't provide them because there's no little crannies or holes or natural spaces for birds to nest.
However, while these walls are ATM's canvas for change, for someone else, they're a solution to the problem.
We're an independent company and we make bird and bat boxes that go integral to new builds or retrospective. My husband's a builder and he designed the box and realised that for years buildings have been made bird-proof, and we're trying to find a way that will house the bird species as well as the population, which is growing, because it's going to have a detrimental impact on the birds, definitely. So this is a community project that we've done, and this is a retrofit, so the building's already there and we've cut the original bricks out and it's just going to be slotted in now. And they're for house sparrows, blue tits, great tits. For swifts, they have to be a lot higher up in the building, sort of minimum of 5 metres ideally. But when it's house sparrows, they can just go in at this sort of height, which is quite nice because children can see them more and interact with them more. We've supplied around about 400 in the UK so far. We've got Great Ormond Street Research Centre, which is a big one, and also Agar Grove in London, in Camden. That's one of the biggest developments within a city. And the boxes will be going there very shortly. So.
And Jenny's innovative idea has stunning results. Taken to their new homes within 2 weeks of installation and using them as important roost sites during the winter months, birds are adapting to city life. But for Jenny, the impact of such actions depends on the people themselves.
I think we are now starting to look at greener ways of incorporating urban biodiversity, but it's changing people's mindsets really and respecting what's around them.
And across London, ATM is doing just that, as word of his street art spreads. Standing out from amongst the crowds, his birds stare back at us as a reminder of what we stand to lose.
Yeah, I'm really inspired by it.
It's quite amazing to look at all the different birds, and since that we've actually noticed a lot more in the area, and you don't realise how much different wildlife is actually around.
In London, I think it's a really important sort of issue in terms of integrating it properly and sort of respecting the little bit of wildlife that is here and sort of appreciating it and noticing it again.
For ATM, there's hope that cities will become a place where birds thrive.
Our cities could be transformed. I mean, cities also have the advantage that they're not plagued by all the pesticides and herbicides which farming uses, so they really could be refuges for a lot of insects and birds.
Through his lens, one thing is clear to Josh. The power of change lies with the people. Unless cities come together, ATM's paintings could become all that's left within our streets.
Now is definitely the time to take action, and through my photographs I hope to show that the public is incredibly important to conserve birds in the city for the next generation. It'd be a real shame in, say, 50 years' time, we used to have blue tits in our garden, we used to have great spotted woodpeckers, rather than, you can see great spotted woodpeckers right there, you can see it out in the garden. It would be a real shame to have the next generation saying to their kids that there's nothing here to see really. We've missed it, we sort of messed up, and now it's our time to try and clean it up.